Hi guys, Rose here. So I am in the middle of a project and I came across something that I made a couple of years ago and I was pleasantly surprised by it because I had forgotten about it, and I wanted to kind of show you guys and show you how to make them. Very simple. And you may have seen them before. I don't think I've seen anyone make them quite like this before, but I think I got the idea from, is it letter locking techniques, yes, that were used back in the 1800s. Anyway, so we have an envelope, but it's not really an envelope, it is a fold out. And this is how they used to send letters back in the day, from, or something similar to this. They'd have it folded into a letter and the actual envelope folds out and you write in here. So let's get on and show you. So I have an image here that I'm using. I have a sheet of just regular tea-dyed paper, and I do recommend regular weight paper because of the folds and stuff, so that it doesn't get too bulky. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this down. I'm not going to actually crease this, I'm just trying to get a mark there so that I'll know where to fold it, because I want to make it square. Okay, so you need a square piece of paper. I should have actually probably done this before the video. Okay, just double check that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it does help. Yeah, like this. Anyway, okay, so we're going to take our image and we're going to put it corner to corner on a corner like this, so that this is going to be the flap of the envelope. And you want the corners just reaching the edge of the paper. Now, you also want these two edges to be similar or the same in length. So let's just pass 3. Slightly off. Okay, so we need to adjust just a little bit. Let's do that again. 3 and almost exactly 3, just a tiny adjustment, that'll be fine. I'm going to mark the very corners here just as a reference for myself. And glue the back of our image. I'm not sure where this image comes from, I'm sorry about that. In the interest of the video, I would normally use wet glues here, but because I'd have to put it under a book and everything while it's drying, I'm just going to use glue stick. Yes, that's the word. Gloopy, gunky glue stick. Well, it's not gunky, it's just it throws off big clumps of glue and I just don't like it. And it gets so sticky. So sticky. Oh. Anyhow, that aside. Oh, come back. Okay, I am going to stand up to get this in place. My apologies if my head gets in the way here. So you just line it up with your little marks. The marks can be erased again if you feel they're too obvious or they're just annoying. Okay, make sure that's down nicely. My clean bowl folder. I got thoroughly annoyed with it the other night. I kept tearing paper with it, so I eventually went and cleaned it. But it was about time anyway. So ideally you would let that dry. Obviously for the sake of the video I'm not going to let that dry. I'm just going to keep going. So you're going to fold it down just to the edge of the image that you glued in. That's the top of the image here, and we're folding that down. Okay, now I'm going to round this corner, and this is going to be the flap of our envelope. And the next step, we're going to fold these in as straight as possible. This is the sides we're folding in now. We'll unfold those and fold up from the bottom, so that we're folding along the bottom edge of that image. Okay, and now I'm going to fold this back just to below the flap, just below that crease for the flap. And you want it just below so that this isn't impeded in any way. Okay. So now you could leave it like that. Excuse me. We could leave it like this and fold it double. You have a little piece here and just fold it up. But I find that a little too bulky. Just a little too bulky. But you could leave it like that just as a square piece. But what I have done in the other one, and I think I will do here, I just cut off this bottom section. And have it like that. Okay, so it looks like an envelope. And you have your writing space inside. Now obviously you can decorate as much as you want on the front of it. I just use a nice decorative piece in the first instance anyway, so I don't think it really needs anything. I might, if I go to use it in a journal, I might dicky it up a small bit. And the last little bit to do is the closure on the back. Now you can use a million and one different things for this. Here I have a little butterfly shape. I could glue that on there. Now it's quite light paper, you do want it to be card. I also have this that could be used on there, but you want to make sure that it's not coming so far above the top, or so far below this or above this, I'm not sure, that you be able to get it in and out. You need to be, it needs to be functional as well as pretty, you know. So I'm going to go to one of my old standbys and just use one of these circular pieces that I have cut out for this particular purpose. And I'll show you how I made these one of the days. They're very simple. You want a silver one? I'll go with a silver one. I have white ones there and I could dye them any colour I wanted really. But we'll just go with the silver one for now. Use my wet glue for this because Prish just won't do it. It just won't hold something like this. So, there is that. Now I want it to come a little bit. Ooh. I want to leave a little bit of room around that envelope flap when I'm gluing this on. I actually picked up the wrong glue bottle there, but it seems to be coming out for me. And make sure it goes all the way to the far edge. But do leave a little bit of room around where the flap is. and I just flip it up and put it into place and hope that it doesn't move. There are other ways to do that, I'm sure. That's just one of the ways that I do it. The least awkward way that I do it. So, once that dries, we'll be able to just slip that in and it'll keep it closed. And there we have a little faux envelope journaling spot. Okay? So, there is another version of this, and it uses 2 pieces of paper. And I have here just an offcut of a printable again. This is one of Nick the Booksmith's. I think I rarely buy paperbacks online. In fact, I rarely buy paperbacks at all. But I had some of Nick's ones printed and in a folder here beside me, so I just went through those, see what I had. I'm just trimming off the white edges here. Okay. Now for this one, I am going to be making the envelope front and the flap out of this one piece. So, just trying to think. I have envelopes here that I could use as a template. This is a nice old envelope. No, not that one. Let's use this one. I like the round on this one. So I'm just going to put this down. Oh, look at that. It's almost the perfect size. Actually turn it over so my pencil marks don't show. I'm just going to draw around this and cut it out. Okay, come on. And when you're cutting curve, for any newbies out there who have trouble with that, just go slowly. Keep your scissors moving as you're closing the blades and you'll get a nice curve. Straight lines I can't do. Curves I do pretty okay with. Okay, sorry about that guys. My camera decided to turn itself off. I had a look at the video and I'm pretty sure we didn't miss anything, so we can just continue on. So we have our envelope front piece cut out here. I'm just going to fold this down to where I think, should that be folded at the corners? No, yeah, it needs a little bit here. Just past where the rounded part ends at the cut here. And that's what the front of our envelope will look like until we decorate it a little bit more. Now so, this into my scraps. Now for the next bit, we are going to attach a full sheet of paper onto the bottom of the envelope. Okay, so I'm just going to run a bead of glue along the very bottom here. Just a very narrow bead of glue. Spread it out a little bit. And we're going to attach this corner, so the left corner. You could do it either way. This is the way I always seem to just automatically do it. Turn it over and make sure it's straight. Actually, you can see through the page to see if it's straight or not, but turn it over, make sure it's straight, and that is right to the edge, this edge here. And that is that one. Next we're going to, that shouldn't take long to dry considering it's just a small bit of glue, but I won't wait for it. Next we're going to fold this so that it is folded right at the edge here. Et voila. Now turn it over and you're going to fold to the edge of that envelope again, like we did in the last one, the edge of the front piece. Just make sure that is straight, like that. Now you can see when I folded this down, we have this piece here that wants to fold, so we're actually going to cut this off. And I can see that we need to, so if I fold this down and fold this with it, this piece, this whole piece here needs to be cut off. Now I'm going to cut it slightly below that and up at a slant like you would if you were doing a pocket or whatever. And we're going to cut off that little piece. So we have that little piece taken off so that when you fold it in, it doesn't get caught on the fold itself, see? Now, looking at this fold, I don't think I have this on straight, so I might be presented with problems there, but we'll see. The next stage, I'm folding down my flap and folding up my fold, just so that I can see where I need to fold this. And I'm going to fold it back the way just slightly smaller than the envelope part itself. Make sure you fold it straight. And again, we're going to do the same here, folding it up. No, we'll fold this back the way it should be first, because it'll end up too short otherwise. Now I usually make these slightly bigger so that the extra bulk doesn't seem to bother me quite as much. I'm going to fold this back down again below that fold line here, just below it. Voila. Now, depending on the size of your envelope shape in the first place, that may take another fold or two. But when you fold it out, that's what you end up with. Okay? And again, you can do whatever you want on the back of it to keep it closed. I obviously didn't fold this very well. It kind of came out the sides, but that can be trimmed and made to look perfectly correct. In fact, let's do that. Let's just trim it down and see what it looks like. There we go. Perfection. Yeah, so I just trimmed off that little bit that wasn't working. Obviously that works on the side where there isn't a fold. You need to have it folded correctly on the other side because you can't cut that. The paper will just fall apart. Okay, again you're doing the same here that we would have done on the other one, which is, yeah. We'll be putting our little thing on. Now, I have done something differently with that, and I shall show you on the original one that I have here as soon as I find my spot. So this is the original one that I found. Fold it out. As you can see, I have an image on the inside of the envelope part, and I have used a wax seal. So you can decorate these as much as you want, or as little as you want. That's how it looks on the back. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to go ahead and do a seal for this, but first I actually do want to put an image on the inside of it. And I have chosen this one. Fits quite nicely. I don't know what I'm going to be using this piece for, but I'm sure I'll find a project to use it in. Now this does need inking before I put it on there. It'd be handy if I had ink on my dauber. So yeah, these are fun. Like I said, I got a nice little surprise when I came across it in a journal the other night, because I'd forgotten about it, and it was so cool opening it. I love finding things like that I'd forgotten about and getting excited about them. Just going to do it quick. This is a bit bright for my taste, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of extra colour with the ink. And I'll put that on again with all my paper stuck in with Pritt Stick. And we'll do a wax seal as well, just for fun. I do love doing wax seals, I have to say. I have struggled with them in the past, but I think I have it sorted now. My fingers want to drag the paper everywhere. They're all sticky. Put it across a tiny bit. Yeah. Okay. And you still have a full sheet of journaling in there. I like it. It really does look like one of those old letter lock letters when it's folded like that. I have another letter lock in the journal that I have this in, but it's quite challenging to open and close it. It was a complex one. I might find it again and kind of get the folds correct on it and show you some other time, baby. Okay, let's do a wax seal. Get out my little box of tricks. I keep all my heat embossing and wax seal things in here, and some gilding stuff as well. And I have a choice of 4. I can do my own initials, the only one I have. I have a tree, a rose, a feather, or my initial. Now, considering the images that we have, it's going to be difficult to know which one of these to use, isn't it? I think the tree works well for everything, so let's use that one. We also need some wax. I have lots of little wax beads, or I have a red wax stick. I find the beads work better for me. Let's find a colour. I could do purple to match her dress, but on the outside I think red would look best after all that. Let's find me some red. I would usually use those sticks for the red, but they can take quite a while to melt, so I'm going to find some beads. Hello Smudge, you're going to have to go down now, Bubba. You can't be at the wax. Okay, let's go. Sorry about this, guys. Just 2 seconds. I've had to close the door for this bit because I don't want him sticking his nose in the flame. Which he would. Okay, I'm going to light my tea light. And get these going. And so I have some sticker paper. Like the back of a sticker sheet that I'm going to use to put the seal on so that it doesn't stick to the other side of the paper and we don't have to try and open it and possibly rip it and break the seal. So I will speed up the this process of melting the wax and go back to normal again when it's done and pouring it and things. Okay, so I think jobs are good in there. Just keep it over the heat while I'm getting this ready. Make sure you guys can see. I'm just going to pour it in one blob onto that point of that envelope. Before I do anything else, I'm going to blow out my candle. And I have my seal oriented correctly. I'm just going to lay it on it. You don't have to press when you're doing seals. That was one I learned the hard way. I mean, the automatic kind of autopilot thing to do is to press down really hard, but you really don't need to. You just need to lay it down. If you lay it down as straight as possible, you should get good spread underneath the seal. I'm going to wiggle it a little bit until it's ready to go. While I'm waiting for that to release, I'm going to clean my little spoon. And of course I have no baby wipe handy. Oh, here's one. This is the one I was looking for. It had fallen. I didn't clean it soon enough. There's still a little bit of red in there. I'll have to clean it again before I use it the next time. Unless I'm using red again, obviously. Still kind of hot. Okay, let's see how we did. Oh, it's not perfectly straight, but I'm okay with that. I don't like the colour of this wax. It's a bit too bright. But that's okay. So there's our seal. Can you see that? Yeah. Now we're going to enhance that a little bit with some, I actually have some out here. It's Inca Gold is what it is. Just going to use a tiny drop of water. Can you see it down here? This is a little blob of Inca Gold that I took out the other day. And that's a tip for you. If you take out some Inca Gold like that and it dries up, you can reconstitute it with water. And it works quite well. A bit too much water there. For this process you don't want it watery, you want it creamy. So that it just picks up on the raised part of your seal. You can put as much or as little as you like on there. And it gives it a little bit of an extra, oomph. Oomph. A little something, something. Just gonna get another little bit of that there. should have kept that under there so I'm not getting the paper with the ink of gold. Okay. I'm going to leave that ink of gold smear here on my, down here, on my mat, and I can use it the next time I want some. Every now and again I do clean it up if I'm cleaning my mat, but generally speaking there's a blob of ink of gold down there ready waiting for water to reconstitute it. Okay, so there we have our finished seal, and our envelope still opens, but it just looks awesome. Okay, so you guys, that is it for today. I'm not going to decorate the front of this, like I don't know what I'm going to be using for, what journal I will eventually use it in. I will probably end up putting a flower on it. I think it kind of lends itself to floral. But for now I think that's it, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have fun making these. There are so many variations that you can do. You can add to them, not add to them, you can stamp on them. The world is your oyster. Have fun, enjoy. Bye.